Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Faye Bishop Report, where the culture is news. I just wanted to do a really quick video about something that has been disturbing my spirit over the past few days, and I just had to say something about it. In case you haven't heard, rapper Fabolous was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and making terroristic threats after beating his girlfriend, Emily B., former star of Love and Hip Hop, up. According to reports, he punched her in the face 7 times and caused her to lose 2 of her front teeth. There is a video out there circulating by TMZ showing footage of what appeared to be the aftermath, where Emily's father and brother had gone over to the home after she asked them to come over and remove 2 guns from the house because she was afraid that Fab would use them against her. On this footage, Fab can be seen waving a knife at both Emily and her father, threatening them. I mean, he comes at her several times. She jumps back. If you see the video, you guys, you can see the horror and the anger and the hurt in Emily's father's face. And you can see her just frightened out of her mind, jumping back, running away from him as he continues to throw threats at her and wave the knife in the air. And he's trying to be pushed in a truck by, I guess, a friend of his or a family member of his or someone in his entourage or whatever. Anyway, apparently this incident happened a couple of weeks ago. And it is saying that footage of the incident is what prompted him to be charged with aggravated assault and terroristic threats. However, there is no word on what has happened since then, because apparently those charges did not stick very long. Fab was seen on in footage of another video at a concert where he performed with Little Kim and Jadakiss the other night, and rumor has it that Emily B was there with him. Now, all I have to say about that is this. Anyone who has ever watched a single episode of Love and Hip Hop during its early inception knows that this relationship between this guy and that woman was never healthy. In fact, Emily B had to go on Love and Hip Hop just to get Fab to claim her publicly as his girlfriend. And mind you, she was already the mother of his kid. Prior to that, Fab no one knew of her. No one knew of his child with her. No one knew anything. According to what many knew in the industry knew, she was his stylist or something like that. And that was the extent of their relationship. I don't know. All I know is that show premiered now almost 7 or 8 years ago. And here we are today. I can only imagine the hell that she puts up with behind closed doors. In comparison to that single incident witnessed on that video footage alone, and the charge that has been made public that he got over the past few days, I truly do not know what it is about women, especially grown women with children, and our attraction to dope dealers, thugs, criminals, rappers, and drunken rock stars alike. Trust me, when I say this, I speak from personal experience. Those men are not marriage material by any means or any sense of the word at all. No matter how many children you have by him, no matter how many years you spend clinging to him as his down ass bottom bitch. You cannot change a person with bad character and a man of ill repute. It's just not going to happen. I think what's saddest about a situation like this is how many women out there, like Emily B., who don't have rock star boyfriends, but who are in similar situations, and the number of them that trick themselves into believing that they can make a man like this type improve on their character. And they delude themselves into believing that if they hang on to the relationship long enough, that because of their sacrifice, it'll encourage him to improve or change and so on. And what's very unfortunate is that after months and usually years, what happens is that his abusive behavior gets worse and worse. And before you know it, It has completely destroyed your self-esteem and has drained the ever-living fucking life out of you. I don't know if it's necessarily the sex or the lifestyle that heightens the excitement from being with guys like that, but there is nothing you stand to gain by trying to remain in a relationship fighting to make a connection with an emotional retard, but a bunch of wasted damn time, a broken heart, and a bunch of busted lips and black eyes that you have to cover up on a consistent basis and hide from your family and your friends. I'm not even going to go there on the amount of damage that gets done to the children who have to witness all of this as it takes place in front of them, and the amount of trauma it does to them in their years, and how it carries over and spills over into even their own adult life. In this particular case, you can hear a child on the video screaming in the background. So I can only imagine, again, the amount of abuse and fighting that takes place between these two behind closed doors and what it's done to their children. However, when it comes to abusive relationships such as this one, the children and how they feel and what we may be putting them through are always last on the list. That's why it does not come as any surprise to me to hear the rumor that Emily appeared with Fab the other night at the show. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't go back to him the very next day, teeth missing and all, because that's usually what happens in situations like this when women are so caught up and so entangled deeply. This is why I constantly encourage people, especially women, to watch out for the giant red flags and pay close attention to them when it comes to dating men like this. Once upon a time, being in an abusive relationship was something that you were ashamed of. Whether you were the man doing the hitting or the woman who was the victim, and vice versa. It was just something that you were ashamed of. I think now we live in a culture where we have romanticized this kind of behavior. We now see dysfunctional behaviors as something normal. We've normalized it. We stick it on memes. We laugh at it. We giggle. We think it's cute. I know one of the biggest giant red flags that tends to get overlooked, especially by women, is typically when a man speaks very ill of the mother or baby mama of his children. I know a lot of women who laugh, who giggle, who think it's cute whenever they're dating a man who can't stand his baby mama. But it's something that you really should get offended by. A man who is dating you, courting you, and trying to fall in love with you is sitting here speaking ill of another woman like she's a piece of shit. And it's not just any woman, it's the mother of his children. It's never okay for a man to be disrespectful to any woman at all, ever. And that's not something that's to be laughed at. It's not something that's cute either. Not especially for a grown-ass man or a grown-ass woman who's dating that man, and vice versa. Another sign is a man with a really, really bad temper. Okay? While anger is a normal emotion, how we channel that anger and how we deal with that anger is something totally different. Okay? It's not cute for a man, nor is it a big sign of super masculinity for a man to go from 0 to 60 at a drop of a hat. Okay? Even if the anger or whatever it is he's angry at isn't necessarily directed towards you in that moment, you really should examine any grown adult who isn't channeling their emotions properly. Okay? Because one day it could be you. And these are just a few examples of the dysfunctional behavior that we have come to normalize in our current culture as something cute, as something to laugh at, as something to giggle at, as something to stick on a meme. No, these are not good qualities and personality traits to possess. It is not something that you should seek or think or see as a good quality in a potential partner or mate or husband or wife. It's not. These types of personality traits are giant red flags of someone who is a potential abuser. And just because you're dating them does not mean that you will be insulated from experiencing those types of behaviors being used against you, yourself. So again, you got to be careful. You got to stop romanticizing dysfunctional behavior. It's nothing to laugh at. It's not okay to deal with someone who's just extremely difficult when you're in a partnership or in a relationship with them. There's nothing cute about calling somebody your irk box or being an irk box to someone. It's not okay to talk like that or behave that way when you're a grown fucking man or you're a grown fucking woman. It's really time for us to change the mindset and stop normalizing dysfunctional behavior. Stop seeing it as something, the normal way we are supposed to function when we're in a relationship. It's not. When the mindset changes, you grow. And the more you grow, the more you mature. And the more you mature, the more you are able to see a lot more value in your worth. And when you know your worth, your entire approach in how not only you deal in romantic relationships, but just in how you deal with people will change because you now have proper perspective and you know the difference in what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable in terms of how people treat you, how you treat them, and so on. I want to feel bad for Emily, and to an extent I do, because I think she has become so consumed with this relationship and so consumed with Fab that she has completely lost herself in it. And that tends to happen to a lot of people, male and female, who remain in such dysfunctional relationships for long periods of time. They lose themselves in it to the point where they don't even know who they are anymore. But then the other part of me doesn't feel bad for her because she knows the kind of man she's dealing with. She knows the kind of person she's dealing with. The problem is giving up her relationship and letting that relationship with Fabolous go means she now has to give up the lifestyle. And I would think by now she would have established her own career, which should be speaking for itself by now, and secured her own bag. But apparently not, because whatever the person she is and the person she's become and everything she is so completely attached to him, to detach herself from him, she wouldn't know how to function by herself. That's just how caught up she is. That's how caught up a lot of people get in very dysfunctional relationships. And again, I think it's really just time we change the mindset, okay? And changing the mindset also means you possibly may need to even change your friends. Yes, the kind of company you keep does play a huge part. Nothing is ever good when you have the wrong kind of element around you. Not nothing. Apparently, the new in thing now is to brand yourself as hard as possible as this Hollywood it couple or hip hop power couple. But what a lot of us aren't realizing is that many of these women are doing it to their own detriment. They're being beaten on, mistreated, and cheated on. And they're doing it for what? Money? To be on the arm of some rapper? Come on, let's do better, y'all. And I think that's something that everybody should think of the next time you go to their pictures on their Instagram pages and social media pages and start tagging yourself relationship goals. That's nothing to aspire to. I wish Emily B the best. I hope for her sake and more importantly, her own children's sake, she says to herself, this is it, and walks away. But if not, may God be with her. Domestic violence and being in an abusive relationship or a dysfunctional relationship is not something that is okay. It's not something we should make light of. It's not something that you could put in a rap song or an R&B song and sell as lemonade and think, all right, this is what's up. It's not. It never has been. It never will be. This is a really horrible situation among many others that get reported in the media daily. I think it's something that we all really need to sit down and really assess, because the mindset that we have plays a significant role in why this is acceptable. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, share. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.